Good morning. Welcome to the heart of Lambton County here in Oil Springs, the historic site of the first oil well in North America. Even though the U.S. tries to claim it was Pennsylvania, it's really not. It's here in Oil Springs. I'd like to start by acknowledging that this land in which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples, referred to collectively as the Anishinabeg. It is through the connection of the Anishinabeg with the spirit of the land, water, and air that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future for those generations to come. Today, Minister Smith from the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry and MPP Bailey are here for an exciting announcement. I'd like to introduce Bob Bailey, MPP for Sarnia and Lambton, to the podium. Mr. Bailey, please.
Well, thank you, Warden. It's a privilege to be introduced by you. We're longtime friends and neighbors in the township. I was on Enniskillen Township many years ago as a councillor, and long before the warden. He was much younger than me. But anyway, it's a privilege to be here today. Like I say, Oil Springs, I spent a lot of time in Oil Springs. My formative years, I guess some people would say my formative years, whether that was good or bad, I don't know, but I spent them over here. But I'm old enough, Graydon. I remember when this place not was built, but when it was opened. I won't say how many years ago that was, but some people here know, I know. And the years start to pile up on you, right? But it's a privilege to be here today again in Oil Springs, especially with all the renovations that have been done here to this museum. Andrew, great credit to your department and all your staff, and the minister had a chance to say hello to them on the way, and I always think it's important to take time to say hello to the folks that actually make the place work, keep the wheels moving. But anyway, so we're very lucky today to have Minister Graydon Smith here. Graydon's been a great asset to our government, elected in 2022 here with me again, and he was a longtime mayor of Bracebridge, I think 12 years as mayor, at least 4 or more years as a councillor there, longtime municipal civil servant there, serving the public, and then he decided to turn his hands to Queen's Park, and he's been a real asset to the Premier and our government. And so without any further ado, I'm going to let the minister come up and speak, tell us what he's here about, and what a great, I was just thinking, here we are back in oil, where oil was first discovered, as Warden said, here in Oil Springs 150, 60 years ago, and the hydrocarbons at that time were underground. We didn't know about them. They were discovered. And here we are again talking about hydrocarbons, and I'll leave the rest to the minister. Let him take over from there. Minister, all the best.
Well, I appreciate that kind introduction, Bob, and I got to say, one of the great pleasures for me since arriving at Queen's Park has been the opportunity to work with you and the pride you have for this area, and the service that you've committed to in this area is truly exemplary. So you're really a role model for a lot of folks at Queen's Park as to how to do this job right. And Warden, it's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you for having me and my team in Lambton County. And to everyone here at the museum, I kind of only made it through the front door and I'm already impressed. So, what a fantastic place to make sure that, we always understand and recognize the history of, how we've grown as a province and the opportunities that have come upon us as we go through the years. Well, you talked about me being mayor for 12 years and councillor for 4. I thought I was a young guy when I started this, and now I'm starting to feel a little bit aged in the role. But it has been a pleasure to, commit my life to public service for many, many years, and a pleasure to be here today to really talk about something very, very important. And there's no better place to do it than right here to make this exciting announcement. So I want to talk today about carbon storage. It's a technology that involves injecting carbon dioxide deep into underground rock formations for permanent storage. And there's a growing interest and acceptance of the role that carbon capture and storage can play in achieving a net zero emissions global economy. And in Ontario, we believe carbon storage will play a role in our low carbon hydrogen strategy as well. Carbon storage is new to Ontario, but not new. And because of that, we need to ensure that any activity we do here in Ontario is done responsibly with measures in place to safeguard people and the environment. That's why my ministry has been taking a phased approach to regulating and enabling carbon storage here in Ontario to support industry, encourage sector innovation, reduce emissions, all while ensuring public safety and corporate accountability measures. And I do want to take a moment just before I proceed with the announcement to talk about my parliamentary assistant at Natural Resources and Forestry, Rick Brissie. He has really been leading this file in a lot of conversations. He's been down to this area, talked to a number of people, and has done a fantastic job. And I'd hoped he'd be here today to help with this announcement, but unfortunately he couldn't. But shout out to MPP Brissie and the great work he does on this file and many others to assist me in the ministry. And one of the things that he's helped, again, is to facilitate conversation and help move us forward as we design Ontario's framework for carbon storage. We're examining the approaches adopted in other jurisdictions to take advantage of their experiences and those lessons learned. And in the first phase of our approach, we amended the Oil, Gas and Salt Resources Act to remove the prohibition on carbon storage here in Ontario. And we also released a roadmap that outlines all the phases in our path forward in developing a regulatory framework for carbon storage here in the province. In the second phase, we committed to further amendments to the Oil, Gas and Salt Resources Act to enable demonstration projects, new activities, to make sure that we can demonstrate kind of the proof of concept of carbon storage and ensure public safety. And so I'm pleased to announce that our government's making progress and is nearing the completion of phase 2, which is enabling demonstration. And our plan is that beginning in the new year, companies will be able to seek approval for testing and demonstration projects on private land. And we've also begun work on developing a commercial scale framework and are taking a measured approach to creating a model that, again, is right for Ontario. This includes exploring options to facilitate access to pore space that is used for carbon storage and examining the approaches that have been adopted in other Canadian jurisdictions. And certainly, Alberta is one that's working very hard around carbon storage, as well as others with respect to pore space to take advantage of their experience and lessons learned. But we do want a made in Ontario solution that works for us. So we're targeting full implementation of our commercial framework in 2025, and we'll be releasing an updated Phase 3 roadmap towards commercialization early in the new year. This updated roadmap will include immediate focus discussions with industry partners and a clear timeline for public consultation on policy proposals and future enabling legislation. Because enabling commercial scale carbon storage projects through these future phases is very important. It's expected to allow businesses to take advantage of incentives and federal funding opportunities and support industry in meeting their emissions targets while outlining a clear path forward for greater investment certainty. We also know that geologic carbon storage projects in Ontario support businesses, creating and maintaining good-paying jobs and fostering innovation and investment. So I look forward to providing further updates on Ontario's progress on the development of commercial scale framework early in the new year. But today is an exciting day as we continue down this path, and I'm so appreciative that so many of you could join us here today for this announcement. Thank you very much, and again, thank you to everyone that enabled the opportunity to have this announcement here in beautiful Oil Springs. Thank you.